Alright guys, so here we are back in SRL for the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, getting straight into it here in the race. We're not going to muck around in the garage or anything. We are just standing here on the grid in second position with Sandro Dulis behind us and Alex Benechetti on pole position in what is technically his home Grand Prix. Of course, he's Colombian, but he's living in Italy. Anyway, the 5 lights are on now and they're out, so away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. 13 laps ahead of us now, trying to get into a bit of a tow of Alex. We want to try and get him into 2-1 because we don't want to let him get away. As we are now breaking down into the first corner, I actually overshoot it completely. I have to cut the corner here in order to, because I just didn't really have a chance. I do get a warning for corner cutting, but I think I effectively gained a position there, but it looks like the game didn't give me a penalty for it. So am I gonna let Alex through here? It would be fair for me if I would let him through, but it looks like I'm actually fighting him here, and I really need to take my chances, because if Alex gets in front of me, you probably know that he is amazing in terms of his race pace, and if he gets in front of me, he will probably drive off into the distance, and of course I don't want that. So I'm really gonna defend my best here to stay in the lead of this race as we now come over the back straight for the first time of this 13 lap race. Coming up to Ascari now, a pretty difficult corner on this relatively noble track, but we've managed to negotiate it quite well there. Having a little bit of a twitch there through that section, but luckily managed to keep it under control as we now put the engine up into rich mix again with Alex Benechetti there looking in our slipstream. He will be certainly trying to see where our weak points are to make a move, because I don't think he is wanting to stay behind us. So Sandro Dulis in third. He also made quite a good start. I think he is still in his qualifying position, so didn't lose anything, didn't gain anything. As Alex now is trying to go around the outside now in the slipstream. Sandro also there looking in his Ferrari. They're having a look up the inside, but Alex meanwhile is going around the outside. However, we take a bit of a cutback line there. We sacrifice the first part of the chicane to open up the second part, and we have now taken the lead back by out-tractioning Alex there. So yeah, already on the start of lap 2, Alex took the lead briefly, but we have managed to keep the proper lead so far in this race. So I'm coming through the second chicane now, but look at that, you can see in the background there Alex has actually made a mistake and he is now in the gravel trap. So I think he probably cut the corner a bit there on the first part of the second chicane, and he got pushed into the gravel trap by that. So that now promotes Sandro Dulis up into P2 now. And Alex hasn't lost too much time. He is still in third position, but it has definitely given us a bit more breathing space as you now open up lap 3 of this race. The gap to Sandro Dulis is now 1.8 seconds as we do the fastest lap with a 1 minute 26.6. And Alex is 2.5 seconds behind Sandro there. So this has definitely helped our race a little bit here. And yeah, that was a pretty interesting mistake there by Alex. We still need to watch out for him though, because he has shown that he is very quick in this race. Again, going purple here in the second chicane now in the first sector. Having a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, but luckily managed to control it there. The gap to Sandro Dulis is now 1.4 seconds, so he has managed to close in a little bit as we now come through the first lesson there. And yeah, now the second Lesmo trying to push as much as we can on the on the opening part of this race. Engine now up into rich mix again, and yeah, now coming over the back straight as we now come up to the second sector intermediate as we come up to Ascari. Let's see, we go purple again, engine down into standard mix there. Bit of a snapple over there through Ascari. That was a scary moment, but luckily managed to control it once again. Gap to Sandro now 1.9 seconds, and Alex is closing in on Sandro as well. The gap is now 1.9 seconds to him as well. As we now open up lap 4 of this race, we do again the fastest lap with a 126.2. So our pace is looking quite solid right now on the start of this race, but actually Alex immediately beats it there. He now goes to the fastest time with a 125.8, so he is now the first driver to break into the 1 minute 25 there. So yeah, Alex is on the charge and he will be desperate to close in on the first two guys, which are Sandro and me. Now coming into the first sector once again on lap 4 through the second chicane. Again, a bit of oversteer there on the exit, really pushing it to the edge here on the first stint of this race. And now again coming through the second Lesmo, engine up into rich mix again as we can now come over the back straight on lap 4. Now engine back down into standard mix to save a bit of fuel and reduce the wheel spin as we now come through Ascari once again. going green in the second sector, so improving my personal best time, but not going underneath the time of Alex. Again, a bit of hopes there through Ascari. So yeah, engine now up into rich mix again for the back straight. We managed to pull out the gap over 2.7 seconds now to Alex Benechetti, who is now into second position. So Alex is now taken over P2 from Sandro Durli. So we definitely need to watch out now. Alex is now in clean air as you now put the engine up into rich mix again for the straight. For the home start finish straight, we do a 1:25.3, so managed to beat our own personal best time, but still not faster than Alex Benechetti. So Alex, he showed blistering pace in qualifying, he took pole position, he currently has the fastest lap in this race as you now come through the first chicane. A lot of hopes there on the exit. Again, Alex, 1:24.7, so again the first driver to break into the 1:24 now, and the pace is definitely holding up here in lap 5 of this race. So yeah, I really had to push to the absolute limit again, coming through the second chicane now. Again, a bit of hopes there on the exit. Gap to Alex. We need to pay attention to the gap. It's now 2.8 seconds, I think. Oh, and there we go. That's our first mistake of the race there. That was tricky. I hit the wall on the inside of the first Lesmo. I almost did the same as what I did in qualifying. Again, a bit of hopes there. But in qualifying, I actually hit the wall there as well. Went into the gravel trap. Luckily, this time we managed to keep it on the track and also get away without any damage. But yeah, that was my first mistake of the race there. And we need to watch out for that because I am pushing now. And I definitely don't need to make mistakes now, especially at this phase of the race. As you now open up lap 6 of this race. This is our recommended lap to come in for our first and hopefully only pit stop in this race, as you now brake just after the 150 meter board into the first chicane. Again going sideways there, almost full opposite lock as we come through the second part of the first chicane as you put the engine up into rich mix 3 again. Now coming through Curve again on lap 6 of this race, and the engine down into mix 2 as you now come up to the first sector and the second chicane. We go green under our own time as you now come through the chicane looking to hit the apex, and there we go. The safety car is out. The safety car has been deployed because I think Dennis Gutner destroyed his vehicle, but I absolutely did not want this because this has completely screwed up my strategy here, and I was really angry at this point because I don't need a safety car at this phase of the race. I was really frustrated that the safety car came out because all the work I did in the first stint pulling out a gap over Alex is now completely gone out the window, and you can see on my wheel movements there that I was clearly frustrated, like I always do when I don't like something. But yeah, this is completely messed up our strategy. We have to come in now on this lap to change tires. Alex has already gone into the pit. You can see on the top left there, Dion Stahl, my compatriot, has now taken over second place, and Yannick Verpeten there surprisingly in third position. But that means that Alex has already made his stop, so he will get the undercut on us, and hopefully that after we rejoin the track now, after making our first pit stop, we will still be in the lead. But even if we do rejoin in the lead, I'll still be frustrated because the most important thing is the gap to Alex. I was really pushing very hard to maintain that 2-second gap we had, but now with the safety car, the pack will be bunched up and all the work will be gone. So yeah, I really wasn't happy with the safety car, and it came at the worst time possible for me pretty much. So rejoining the track now, still in the lead of this race, but I don't really care. I was still pissed off. I mean, we are leading, but that doesn't matter. Like I said, the most important thing was the gap to Alex, but that gap will now be demolished because of this safety car. So yeah, I can't stress enough how frustrated I was with this safety car. And there we have it, and almost had to jump on the brakes there to avoid it, or in order to not hit it or overtake it there. So yeah, driving behind the safety car now. Lap 7 of this race, we can surely go to the end on these tires even without a safety car. But this will be a very interesting strategy of this race now, because the pack is now bunched up. We're on lap 7 of this race, so the safety car will probably come in about 3 laps time. So then we will have about 3 laps of green flag racing with a full, leading pack. So yeah, this is gonna be very interesting for sure. But I didn't want it to be interesting. I just wanted to be safe of the race win, and man, I really wasn't happy at this point, and I was actually pretty scared now, and my confidence was starting to diminish here, because with Alex right behind me, I was getting flashbacks to other races like Catalonia, where it's a bit of a trend that Alex is always quicker in the second phase of the race. So yeah, I was very worried at this point, as you can see here on the straight, trying to weave a bit to keep the tires warm, to keep the temperature in the tires. And yeah, I think we can see behind that the other drivers are doing that as well. So this safety car period does allow you to reset your mind a bit, to calm down a bit, and yeah, just drive slowly. Think about what will happen after the safety car peels into the pits, and just yeah, calmly think about how you're gonna play your cards once the green flag is shown. As we are coming through Ascari on lap 8 now of this race. Yeah, I don't know if he was able to hear it very well there, but basically the engineer was saying safety car in this lap, like you can also see up on screen now, and also guiding us to manage our temperatures. As now the green flag is shown, safety car is into the pits, green flag racing now, so the race is now back on. 5 laps to go from this point onwards. We have Alex right behind us, Sandra right behind him, and Dion right behind him. The back is of course bunched up because of the safety car. Braking into turn 1 now, trying to brake as late as we dare now, trying to not really oversteer, but we do have a massive oversteer moment there on the exit, but it looks like it hasn't cost us that much time since Alex didn't really close in there in the traction zone. Now coming through Curve Candy here. It's gonna be a sprint race to the finish pretty much. So I'm now braking down for the second chicane here in the first sector split, trying to hit the apex nicely here, and really trying to carry as much speed as possible there through the corner. Luckily not to have a snap of oversteer there this time on the exit. Now coming through the first Lesmo here, trying to run it out really wide, running it out too wide there, actually dipping our wheel into the gravel. Now Alex is upper inside. We have a snap of oversteer there on the exit of Lesmo too, and we actually hit Alex a bit there. Luckily he didn't spin out, and yeah, I'm sorry to Alex there. That was completely my fault. I'm gonna stick my hand up now and say that that was a pretty dumb move from me, but I couldn't really do much about that. I just had a snap of oversteer there, and Alex unfortunately was on my right side, which meant that I kind of oversteered into him. But this has actually gained us a bit of time, or lost Alex a bit of time rather, as we now open up lap 10 of this race. 4 laps to go now. The gap to Alex is 1.8 seconds, I think it is, so he is outside of the DRS window, but DRS is not enabled since it's the first lap after the safety car, again sliding through the exit of the second part of the chicane there, and Alex is closed right up onto us as you now come through this long right-hander curve again, the corner, coming up to the first sector and the second chicane. Engine down into standard mix again to reduce the wheel spin on the exit of this chicane here, trying to really hit the apex again. A snap of oversteer there. It's really getting very tense here on lap 10 of this race. You can see Alex there in the mirrors right behind us, really looking for his chance to overtake us. DRS is not enabled yet on this lap, remember, as he is now looking around here outside of us there on the exit of the second Lesmo on the back straight now, trying to defend into Ascari here, taking a defending line which actually compromised our exit, and Alex is through. Oh no, Alex is through, and the last time this happened he pulled off into the distance and won the race, so I was really worried at this point. We still have the slipstream though. I think the DRS might have been enabled, I'm not sure actually, but really trying to close up here on the exit of Parabolica. A bit of a slide there, but we are in the slipstream. We'll possibly have DRS as well on the straight. Alex goes to the right to try and get me out of his slipstream, but it doesn't work. We have the DRS, we pull to the left and overtake him now on the start finish straight. So now on the start of lap 11 we have the lead back as we break down for turn 1, having much greater speeds than what I'm used to. Again oversteer there on the exit, but we maintain the lead and we just need to hold on for 2.5 more laps now for the rest of this race. But Alex is desperate to win this race, of course, being his home Grand Prix. He really wants to win in Italy here for the Tifosi engine into standard mix again, coming through the second chicane here, again trying to get on the power as early as possible. Again a step of oversteer, really pushing it to the absolute limit now. It is getting very risky here, and I'm getting dangerously close to pushing it over the limit. Now coming through the second Lesmo, once again trying to get on the power as early as possible. Once again bit of oversteer there on the exit again of that very fast second Lesmo corner. Alex is in the slipstream, he has the DRS has been enabled. We still have 1 lap of fuel that we can burn in Rich Mix 3, and now what is happening here? We have made contact, we are both in the wall. I've lost my front wing, punctured my left tire. Alex is in the gravel trap as well. What has happened there? Dion is up into second place. What is going on here? We are still in the lead, but our car is badly damaged, so we have to come in for our pit stop now, and this has completely ruined everything. Dion is somehow up into P2 out of nowhere, and we are just struggling to get back into the pits. We can barely get through Parabolica here. Dion has taken over the lead. I've lost my front wing, I've punctured my tire as well. We have to come into the pits now, and this is completely messed up our entire race. This is just an absolute disaster. I will need to change my front wing, change my tires. I honestly don't know what happened there. If you know whose fault that was, then please let me know in the comments, because I personally think it was a bit of a racing incident there. Alex kinda carried much more speed into the Ascari corner and then tagged me on the rear, which meant we spun out. I definitely don't think that was completely Alex's fault, but I don't think it was my fault either. So I think it's a bit of a racing incident. Dion Staal is now in the lead though. You can see there all my wheel movements. I was really angry about that. This race weekend has just been a disaster really. It started off already with a lot of bad luck in qualifying. So here, this is on board with Dion Staal actually. So he is just chilling in third place, and then suddenly the two leaders collide, and you can see Alex there off to the right. He has to avoid to the left, almost loses the back end there. And yeah, that was a very messy corner for Dion there. He was caught by surprise, I think, by the two incidents. So he was lucky there to avoid Alex pretty much on the apex of the second part of Ascari. We are still leading it, but of course with a badly damaged front of our car because we hit the wall there. So we have absolutely no grip through Parabolica there, and Dion Staal takes over the lead of this race. Could he potentially win his second victory ever in SRL and the first of this season? We'll just have to wait 1.5 more laps. You can see this is on board with us now on lap 12 of this race. We are very lonely here in last position and even running wide in the second Lesmo, and yeah, that happened. So we are now facing the wrong way, trying to get the car in the right direction again, trying to flick the car around in reverse gear. Didn't really work out there, so yeah, our race is absolutely ruined by this. It doesn't matter anymore. We're gonna finish in last anyway, so it doesn't really matter what we do from here on in. I still want to finish the race, but it won't really matter because we will be in 7th place anyway. So I don't think there is anyone behind us. There are only 7 runners left in this field. So now on the beginning of lap 13, we do an incredible 2 minute 14.6, which is of course not that quick, but even overshooting the corner there, I lost all of my concentration, lost all my ability at this game, and yeah, now cutting a bit ahead now too. Later on in lap 13, Alex has actually won this race as we just dip our wheel into the gravel once again, lose our front wing for the 2nd time in this race, and I just couldn't be asked to finish, to be honest. Yeah, there we go. We put the engine down into Limex. I think I'm still going to finish the race here, trying to flick the car around. Didn't work again, trying to carry a bit more speed this time. There we go, into reverse gear to flick the car around. This time it actually worked out quite well there. But yeah, just cruising to the finish. You can see on the car status there on the right, our rear tires are absolutely overheating at the moment. But yeah, I still finished the race in the end in 7th and last position. So Alex did cross the line in first. He did manage to overtake Dion with Samuel Brandt in 3rd place and Andrew in 4th. However, those are actually not the final results, because the race stewards have decided that Alex will get a 10-second penalty to add up to his race time. So we can see Alex here celebrating his victory, but it is actually taken away from him because of that incident on lap 11. So that means that Dion Staal now wins the first Grand Prix of his season, and I think Samuel gets promoted up into 2nd, and Andrew also gets his first podium of this season in 3rd position, as you can see there. So Alex is now down into 4th position. He still has a very healthy lead in the championship, but it must be very frustrating for him to get robbed of the race win by getting it taken away from you like that. But yeah, those are the final results. So it's also a pretty frustrating race for me because, of course, I came home in 7th, which is definitely going to lose me some points in the championship. And I had really high hopes for this race, especially after the safety car as well. I was leading and I was very excited to defend from Alex and fight for the win with him. It was a very good fight, I will admit, up until that very moment. But yeah, just a bit unfortunate it had to end like this, but I think we both couldn't really do anything about it. I think it was a racing incident, and yeah, it is what it is. This race was already a few months ago, so it doesn't really matter anymore. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.